Day number 3. 32 degrees outside. It's been kind of having like some freezing rain off and on through the night, but there's very little on the ground. I was a little concerned when it was still dark when I got up this morning. Got up at 4:30 instead of 4 like I usually do. Anyway, and I was a little bit concerned that I may not be able to do this if there was freezing rain on the roads, but it looks like it's going to be fine to me, so I think I'm going to be all right with that. So I guess I ought to give the good, the bad, and the ugly, huh? So the good, my legs feel fine. Like I said yesterday, the ride was long, but it wasn't in any way grueling or difficult or something I couldn't do. However, I'll tell you what did happen, and I feel good today. My legs are, I'm not sore or anything like that. But what did happen, about 7 o'clock last night, I laid down on the floor. I've got a little neck massage thing, and I was laid on the floor on my back, let that neck massager go for about 15 minutes. And when I got ready to get back up, I got a cramp in my left leg. And when I suddenly laid down quick, tried to stretch that leg out, and as soon as I did, I got a cramp in my right leg. And I was home by myself, and they were so bad that every time I moved, they would just go crazy. If I kept them straight and relaxed, it seemed like, and so I couldn't get up. I eventually rolled over on my belly, and I belly crawled to the bedroom where I could use something to help support me while I got back and got up. And my legs were, where the cramp was, that cramp area was sore, all night long. So, this morning I actually, when I got up, I took a hot bath to soak my legs to try to get that cramp feeling. Even, when I got up this morning, I could still feel where the cramps were. And so I warmed my legs up that way to try to get through this thing. Got a little bit of a flu going on also, stomach cramps and aches through the night as well. But right now it's 32 degrees. It's not raining or anything. I've got on all my my rubberized clothes and that kind of stuff just in case it does decide to let loose again. I've got my hood and all of those things, but I'm going to start out without them on. And here we're going to go. Going to shoot for 50 miles or a little bit more than 50 miles again. All right, got her done. 52 miles, 5 hours, 2 minutes. And I was thinking about there were several things, that come into play to kind of keep you going. Walls I had to break. The first wall this morning was I had to get going. I got a little bit of a flu, and so I had to decide I wanted to go anyway. Got up about half an hour later than I planned, so I had to decide to go. And then the second wall another wall I had to overcome was the weather. I was sort of hoping the weather was just going to cooperate with me this February. It wasn't never bad last year, and that I'd just be able to, wasn't going to be too much of an issue. But today, there were forecasts of freezing rain and all that. I ran into a little bit of slush and slept one time, just barely slept one time, but that was it. And then another wall I had to overcome. It happened yesterday and the day before. In fact, it really happened the first day too. I really could have ridden at least, I rode 3.5 hours. And it was Wednesday. I want to get done a little bit earlier on Wednesday, but I stopped at 32 miles. And I noticed that yesterday and today both, at about 30 miles, it was like, when will this end? And I had that same issue kind of both days. So there was that kind of a wall that I had to overcome. And then there was a final wall that happens because I need to make up a couple of miles each trip. Instead of going 50 miles, I need to do at least a mile more than that, so that I can make up for the shortfall I had on the first day. And so that was the other one is, pushing myself to do that extra mile or two rather than just getting my 50 and saying I'm done. This is going to be a challenge. I knew it would be. I knew I'm really hoping that after my first break, I'll have, in this case, I'm going to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off because of church, and then Monday and Tuesday I'm going to be out of town. And I'm hoping that I recover enough through that I don't have much of an issue other than that. The other thing I decided with this weather, so it has been wet this whole time, and So I've got clothes on for that. And so here's what I decided. My clothes, my rain clothes, are sufficient enough that when it's raining, I ride for an hour when in the rain, no big deal at all. 2 hours in the rain, it's inconvenient. 5 hours in the rain, it's just a pain. At about the other thing that happened right around 20 or 30 miles, by that time I'd sweat enough that all of my clothes are wet, and I'm assuming it's because I'm wearing these rubberized outer clothes. There's no way for it to, for that to dissipate, and so all of my clothes are just wringing wet right now. And then after they get wet, even though I'm riding, I started getting cold. There were about 5 times this trip that I got off the bike and walked, not very far, not 25 feet or something like that, just enough to get some to blood into my feet again, because my feet were so cold and they're wet. I'm wearing my neoprene overshoes, but my feet are still just very, very cold and wet feeling. Anyway, so I am done for the day, and I'm glad to have her done. And tomorrow's Saturday, and plan on riding tomorrow. Depending upon the weather, my wife might go with me for part of it, but I need to do another 50 or 50, a little over 50 tomorrow as well.